We can't hear you, Mr. Sebastian.
Yes, I want the recording to start so that I start lectures. All right, fantastic. So today is going to be one of the shortest tutorials we've ever had since I started the program. It's very short, probably 10 minutes or maximum 15 minutes. So this tutorial is just tackling the seasonality component of the assignment. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to do that. And then for the rest, it's just normal data exploration, which you'll be able to do. If you have any question, you can ask them on Slack as well. So I'm going to start sharing my screen so that we get started. All right, so can you all see my screen?
Yes, Sebastian, we can see it. We can see
okay,
it.
Fine, sure. So pharmaceutical sales prediction across multiple stores. We all know this. You load a data set, you do all these things. So I just jump straight to, I'm coming. All right, so let me make a comment on this, replacing values to do with cardinality. So you'd realize that in the state holiday column, you have, so when you look at the unique values, it brings out 4 unique values instead of, it brings out 5 unique values instead of 4. This 0 is repeating. One is an integer and one is a string, right? Essentially, they're the same thing, right? But just that one is an integer and one is a string. And so you need to replace both. So I replace both with O, letter O, right? I replace both with letter O for in the train data set, and in the test data set too, I did the same thing. I replace the 0 integer with letter O. So you need to do that to correct that so that you don't have 5 unique values in the state holiday column. Instead, it's supposed to be 4. So that is the first comment I'll make on that. And then let's go straight to the seasonality analysis. Now, that part is just like time series analysis. And so what I would, or the approach that I would use, or that I used, is, so you create a new sort of data frame out of the train data set where you have your dates and sales, right? And then when you show it, this is what you have, okay? And then you create a date time column where you convert the date column into date time, okay? So time series date time, PD to date time, time series date. Okay, so you convert the date time of the date, you convert the format of the dates to date time formats, okay? And when you do that, then you set the index to date time, right? You set that new column that we've created, you set it as the index with this line of code. Then you just drop the dates, the date column, and then you set the in place to true. And then when you show the head, this is how it's supposed to show, okay? Now in Pandas, we have the resample method. So what it does, so after we've set our index and all that, now we want to resample the time series or the dates into day. So that means that if multiple sales happened on the same day, then it means that if you're resampling by day, it is going to find, so in this case, we want the average. So it's going to find the average daily sales, right? It's going to show the average daily sales. It's going to give the average daily sales if you resample by day. All right. So when you plot it, this is what you have, right? You can also do it weekly, right? Just using W. So this means that it finds the average weekly sales, right? And then you plot it. So if you do it by weekly, this is what you have. Okay. And if you do it, you can also do it by monthly, right? You just resample it by month, you find the mean, and then when you plot it, you have something like this, right? And when you look at the graph, you can see some trend, okay? So this is January, right? So in January, you have the lowest point, okay? And then in December, that is where you have the hike. You have the hikes in December. In 2013, December, you had a hike, and in 2014, December to the same thing. Okay, so this shows that which means in December, that is when we have Christmas and all those kind of things, right? So this is how you can also observe seasonality, right? You look at patterns. So if after every period there is, you know, either a rise or a fall, right, in the sales, right? So that gives you, that is how you determine the season. So you know which month has the lowest, you know, sales, and then which month has the highest, right? You can argue that in January people would have spent their money, so they don't buy a lot of things. In December people spend a lot, and so the sales go high, and so on and so forth. So this is how you can observe, and it is true, it is consistent across whether it's monthly or weekly. Weekly too, you can see the spike over here, right? And then even if it's daily as well, right, you can see the spike over here and here, right? So this is the seasonality component of the assignment. And so if you have any question, please feel free to ask, and then I'll be happy to answer. I'm done. Thank you. Yeah. Any question from anyone?
I have a question, Sebastian.
Yes.
For example, like, okay, my question is, why are we using only one letters for the resampled function? I mean, what if we have multiple columns with words beginning with the same word, the same letter? I mean, we use W for week and M for month, right?
No,
like
so the W is
the
W is weekly.
Yeah, we use W for weekly, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so for example, if we have other columns starting with W, like what do we do? Or does it just work for weekly, daily, and monthly?
So when you resample, right? So when you convert it to date time, pandas know that it is a date, right? And so when you resample by weekly, all the dates. So for example, today is Tuesday, right? So yesterday was Monday. If you are resampling by weekly, it means that it is going to add all the sales from Sunday to Saturday, right? And it will treat it as one. So maybe week one. So if, for example, the average sales from Sunday to Saturday was, let's say, 1,000, then week one is giving a sales value of 1,000. Then week two will be giving a sales value of something else. Week three will be giving a sales value of something else. And then you plot it. That's how it works. If it's by month two, in January, so it's going to find the average of, for example, all the sales in January. And then for the month of January, it will give it a sales value. And the month of February to give it a sales value. In March, it's going to give it a sales value, and so on and so forth. So that's how it works. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Sebastian, someone is like requesting you to go up, like to scroll up your notebook.
Okay.
Before the like time series variables.
Is it okay?
It's from Patrick. Patrick, is it okay? Do you have a question on this?
Yes, it's fun. I just wanted to see how I've seen what I want to see. Thank you very much.
Oh,
It's
all
fine.
right.
Okay. All right. Any other question from anyone?
Yeah, I have another question.
Okay, can we use?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So my question is not necessarily related to time series visualization, but like later in our challenge, we are supposed to do outlier detection, I think. So since this is time series data, is it a good idea to remove the outliers from the data? And if so, how can we do that?
So one of the ways you can identify outliers is using box plot and then histogram. Yeah, and then I think I made a tutorial on how to remove outliers. So you can check the previous weeks and you'll find a notebook there, and then you can follow how to remove outliers. So the thing is, with outliers, there is a way to deal with them. There is an advanced way of dealing with outliers, right? But then at the very bare minimum, you remove them, right? You remove them because the whole idea of outliers is that they are not many, they are the exception, right? And so they are very few. So when you remove them, it wouldn't hurt so much your analysis, right? So you may decide to remove them and then continue with your analysis. Is that fine?
Yeah, I guess it's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I wanted to ask, can we use prophet for this analysis? The prophet is
Feel free to
library.
use any library that you want. What matters
Okay,
is
and
analysis.
okay.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, and I wanted to tell Binyam that you can do box plot for each of the months, each of the week, like to identify outliers in the weeks and the month. Like you can plot box plot for them like that for each of them.
Yeah. That is okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I have a question also.
yes.
Okay, from task 1, question number 2. It said check and compare before sales behavior before, during, and after holidays.
That's right.
So I was thinking, I don't know, but if I want to get the before, the before is the date after a particular holiday. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, so for example, if it is Christmas, before Christmas is, August, September, October, November. That is before. Christmas is in December, right? And then after Christmas will be January, February, March, April, right? Easter is around April. So before Easter will be January, February, March. After Easter will be maybe May, June, July, thereabout. So that's how you have to look at it. But then apart from these holidays, there are state holidays as well. So you have to be mindful of that as well. Do you understand? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Sebastian.
Yes. So how did you deal with the null values in your notebook? Did you do the seasonality without dealing with null values? Yeah, so I didn't handle null values in this one. I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on the seasonality and how to approach it. So I didn't do anything on null values.
I'm tempted to sell my Bitcoin.
Someone asking whether dates can contain outlier values. I don't think so. So for the question on season purchase, we can just change the time series data frame to date and purchase columns. I don't get this question. For the question on season trends on purchase, we can just change the time series data frame to date and purchase columns. Jeanette, please, can you clarify your question? I don't understand very well.
I think what she's trying to say is for hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think what she's trying to say is that we can just extract the date and purchase column, if I'm correct. I think that's what she's trying to say, that we can just extract the date and purchase column and then do our time series analysis on it.
Yeah. I think that was what I did, right? I just got the dates and then a sales column and then created a new data frame out of it and then assigned it to time series and then I did my analysis on it. So you can do that if you want.
Yeah, you can do the same like as Sebastian.
For my previous question on comprehensive behavior, I went off, so I didn't get your.
Please come again. Jola, please can you come again? Jola, please can you come again?
Okay. Oh, I thought someone wants to speak. I was saying I didn't hear what. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I said before Christmas is the same thing as after Easter. So how are we going to? I don't know how to put that.
Right. So
for the question 2.
You can just select some few months leading to the holiday season, right? It can be 2-3 months, right? You don't have to, there's no specific number that you have to use. You can, for example, if it's December, you can decide to choose November, October, or September, October, November as your before, right? And then your after will be January, February, March. And then for Easter, your before can be February, March, or January, February, March. And after Easter could be May, June, July, or just May, June. So however you want to interpret your work. It just should make sense. And it should be valuable such that we can act on it if you present it to me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So any more questions from anyone? Why did you drop the date column for your new column? Right. So we just want the date. We want the dates in our datetime formats, in a datetime data type, right? And that was what we just did over here. So when you look at the time series data time, we converted the date column into datetime formats. And so we don't need the actual date column again. That's why we dropped it. Do you understand? That's how we dropped it. Any more question?
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
The notebook in the folder is the weekly folder.
Come again?
The notebook in the weekly folder.
Please, I can't hear you.
Is this notebook in a weekly folder?
I'll put it in a weekly folder after here. So you'll have it. Samuel, I would get the location of that notebook and then share with you soon, right after the tutorial. Okay? Sure. Any question from anyone before we end the tutorial? Like I said, it was very short, so. Okay, so if there's no question, I think that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. If you have any question, keep them coming on Slack, and we'll be happy to respond to them. All right, so until then, it's a bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye.